الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وعلى آله وصحبه وأزواجه أجمعين أما بعد. A very important question. Why does Iran attack Jordan, Kuwait, Qatar, also Azerbaijan, Turkey, Kurdistan in Iraq, and Iraq is under their control. Why? It's very difficult to explain to people things they don't want to hear. I was in Europe, came to America after that when the Iranian revolution started. Before that and after that, I read extensively about the revolution itself, the history of Iran, Persia, and the Gulf, the Arabian Gulf. They call it Persian Gulf, it's the Arabian Gulf, and about the Shia sect and group, all types of Shia sects and groups. This is before I started authoring, translating books. Allah blessed me and my family to produce more than 70 so far. Between translations, authoring, all the books are about Islam, all are in English. You will find some of them on our website, islamlife.com. Islamlife.com. You see some of them here next to me. So it is my interest to talk about this topic, and we have books about the Shia and their ideology. I said I was in Europe and then came to America just before and after the Iranian revolution started and then succeeded. Actually, I remember one day I was in Hyde Park. This is 1978 in London, Hyde Park. I wanted to go and see what's going on there. People go on Sunday and they talk about all types of things. At the time, the Iranian students in Britain, this is just before the revolution succeeded. They used to go to Hyde Park and talk like everybody else, talking. I did some speeches about Islam, little talks, and then I discovered that that environment is not good for da'wah, to call to Islam, because people are shouting, screaming at each other, interrupting each other. You can't finish a thought and you can't follow up with anyone unless you have some kind of publications to give to the people. They take it back home, they read it, they don't read it, at least you've done something. But the shouting and screaming, I hated it. I remember today I was asked about that, if I went to Hyde Park when I was in Britain. I did. One day, I was with some Palestinians who were not religious, and naturally they felt support. They had feelings for the Iranians because most Muslims don't have a clear idea about the Shia, and many commoner Shia people, they have a foundation of Islam among them, so they felt close to the Iranians, and also um, the slogan that the revolution started with, they're still at it today, 47, 48 years later. Death to America, death to Israel. And the Arabs being disgusted, as they should, with their governments and leaders not doing anything really to support the Palestinian people, the Muslims, especially since Al Aqsa is a Muslim property. Still until today, Alhamdulillah, and the Jews are trying to take it over. Um, so they would feel close to that slogan, death to America, death to Israel, and Al-Quds and Palestine and Al-Quds, the Arabs, I mean. And they don't know much about the Shia. So one day, and it happened every week, some Jews would be coming and talking. At that time, there was friction between the Iranians and the Jews in Britain, students mostly. One week, I was talking to some Palestinians who didn't even pray. And then one guy came from another section of the park and said, the Jews attacked the Iranians. So many went there to help the Iranians defend themselves against the Jews. So we are connected to this topic historically, closely, religious-wise. We were there. Then here in America, I was here when the revolution succeeded, when Khomeini came back. And since then, I've been writing and talking about this topic for years and years and years. You see, my name is Jalal Abualrub, Jalal Abualrub. I told you about the books. Some of them are here next to me. And I'm from Palestine. All of it belongs to Muslims. All of it. Especially Al-Quds. I'm from the West Bank, the city of Jenin. And only since October 7th, the Jews killed dozens of my family, Abualrub. Some of them children. The youngest was 6, I think, 6 or 7. So I'm connected to this topic almost in every respect, except that I didn't live in Palestine. Thanks to the Brits and the Jews and the Arabs who did not help us go back to that Muslim land. Muslim land. Belongs to Muslims. Muslim land. But this is our people, and we know many people who would be living in the West Bank, Gaza also, and coming to Kuwait where I lived, and so we're closely connected. And to tell you the truth, Kuwait was, and I think still is, the most sympathetic to the Palestinian cause throughout. So we are connected in many ways. You see this summary? So the slogans, death to America, death to Israel, gained popularity among the Arabs, especially the Palestinians, who are disgusted, to say it again, with the Arab leaders and systems that are not doing what they can and what they should to take back this Muslim land. It's a Muslim land. Here is how impossible it is for the Jews and Christians to exclude the Muslims from Palestine. Temporarily, they have the upper hand. There's still 5 million Palestinians living in the West Bank and Gaza. Islam is the largest religion on earth. Muslims read the Quran, but not like the Christians. The religious Jews, they read their books, and the Muslims read their book a lot more. In Surah Al-Isra, chapter Al-Isra, the journey by night of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the blessings and mercy of Allah on him, from Mecca to Jerusalem, Al-Quds, and then to heaven. So they read it in their book. They're attached to it forever. So temporarily, it happened before, 200 years. All of Europe came together under the cross and came to Palestine, stayed for 200 years. When they went there to Jerusalem, Al-Quds, they killed all the Muslims, naturally, men, women, and children. They exterminated the Jews and the Christians who were there, stole the gold from the churches, and raped some of the nuns, to the extent that one of the people who was writing the history of the Crusades, he was one of them, made a conclusion that what they did on that day, and he was happy, elated by what happened. He became a bishop somewhere in Europe later, or a priest. What's the difference? He said this made the Easterners conclude that the Europeans, the Christians, during that time, the Crusaders, believe in nothing save blood and money. 200 years, all of Europe. Then they went out and back to where they came from. Death and destruction, 200 years. So today is temporary. So the Arabs are disgusted with their leaders, and I say they should be disgusted also with the commoners. See? Not today. We'll talk about that later. Not today. Especially with regards to Palestine, and they don't see them doing anything really of substance to help the Palestinians take back the Muslim land. It belongs to Muslims. It's in the Quran. So when the group of the Shia and Khomeini, his people were very organized. They took over Iran from the Shah. His son now is dreaming of going back and being the Shah of Iran again. I don't think that's a good idea, unless you want to be executed there, they will not let you go there and lead them because they remember your father, who was a tyrant in every respect, despicable, wicked, evil, ruthless, thief, tyrant. And he thought he was the continuation of the age of the Kisras. The Kisra, Khosrus, they call him Khosrus here, I don't know why. The Persian emperors before Islam came, he thought he's continuing. He wasn't. His father was in the army, and he didn't have in his ancestors kings, but he thought he was, and he was acting like a peacock. That's the name of the throne. Arsh at-Tawus, the throne of the peacock. And he murdered his people, and he stole and acted like a king. Iran has very talented people, different peoples, not only Persians. Persians about a half. They have Azaris, they have Baluch, they have Arab, they have Kurd, they have Turks, they have. So they have all kinds of nations there, held together by force, and talented people, big country. So he did some improvements, and he built a strong armed forces, especially the Air Force. And he thought he would be the superpower in the Gulf area on behalf of the West. And he was very, very friendly to Israel. And the people of Iran, so many millions of them Muslims, ordinary Muslims, commoner Muslims, but they have feelings for Palestine and Al-Quds, and also against the tyrant. And Khomeini, his people were very organized, and the revolution succeeded. So from the beginning, they were talking about death to America. America was the oppressor, no doubt, no doubt. And therefore, they wanted the slogan, so that the slogan is to, in their minds, pay back the West and America for what they did. And they were terrible, the West, through the Shah and his regime in Iran. Terrible, terrible people. Wherever they go, the native population becomes poor, oppressed, and tyranny rules over them, supported by the West. So the slogan, Death to America, was natural to them, and it was almost unanimous. Death to Israel is because Israel was into Iran a lot, and they don't want the Jews. The Iranians, Shia or Sunni, they don't want the Jews. The Iranians did not then, still today, don't want the Jews. So the slogan was death to America, death to Israel. I heard it so many times. I used to give Friday speeches and classes in universities, and the Iranians at the time were very active, very active. They would come and start screaming death to America, death to Israel, while they're here in America studying. And many, many, many Arabs became sympathetic, including some people who had knowledge about the Shia, but they thought maybe they will change and really try to seek reconciliation with the Sunnis. The vast majority of Muslims more than 90% are Sunnis, to seek reconciliation with the Sunnis towards some kind of Islamic unity. Then it became clear that it was a slogan. That's it. Their real intention was to export the revolution. They were talking they were talking about the Muslim and Arab rulers, especially in the Gulf area, as being tyrants, as being pro West, and uh, cowardly towards Israel. And many Arabs were enthusiastic about this until today, many of them. The real reason for their reaching out to the vast majority of Muslims is to spread the revolution and spread their religion among the Muslims. They had no intention of changing their religion. Let me tell you something. Whether you're Muslim or not, if somebody says, for example, that, okay, I'm a Muslim, what's your book? The Quran. It was corrupted and changed. Who's your prophet? Muhammad. He collected around him some of the most wicked, evil people for companions, and they lied. Whatever they said the prophet said or did, it's a lie, and they changed the Quran. Muhammad collected the most wicked women for wives, and the religion of Tawheed, dedicating all acts of worship to Allah alone. We can invoke dead people, Ya Hussein, Ya Ali, Ya Zahra, Ya whatever. You should be saying to them, you're not Muslims. You are not Muslims. You are not Muslims. The commoners, with the emotions, to them, the slogan was more important about the wicked religion they were spreading among Muslims. Revolutions, and they have people who support them in different areas attacking the Muslims. They started with the Muslims, the Sunnis of Iran, Persian, Arab, Kurd, Atrak, Turk, and they oppressed them completely, totally, and perfectly. Khomeini said, give me one generation and I will change the Sunnis into Shia within this generation. And the oppression was unimaginable. I'm still shocked that not many people who call to the religion talk about the Iranian Muslims. Tens of millions of them. Tens of millions. We don't know exactly the percentage. Could be 1/3 of Iran Sunnis, Muslims, commoners. That's 30 million. Who's talking about them? What happened to them for 5 decades almost? Even before that, under the Shia, who had no religion. Was just a massive tyrant. His son is dreaming, I'm gonna go back and they're gonna be lining up the streets. Welcome to the Shah, welcome. It's not gonna happen. And let the people in Congress clap for you as much as they like. You will not last. Just give it up. So, starting with Iran, And then they started threatening Iraq. Even though Iraq gave refuge to Khomeini before he went to France and then back to Iran and became the leader there, threatening Iraq because Iraq, sadly, so many Sunnis from Iraq were telling us the Sunnis are a majority in Iraq. The Shia were saying we are the majority. It turns out that the Shia are the majority. And Saddam Hussein was a tyrant against Islam and Muslims, Sunnis and Shia. He brought disasters, especially starting with the war against Iran. But Iran, the mullahs there, when I say Iran, I'm talking about the mullahs, specifically the Ja'fari, the Twelvers, the Imami sect or among the Shia, which is the dominant one. They were threatening Iraq continuously and revolution, because they thought Iraq is theirs. There's lots of oil, and Iraq also has talented people. These are ancient nations in Iraq and Persia and Syria, ancient. Among the ancient civilization, they say, in that area, in the world. Then the war for 8 years ended up in the killing of hundreds of thousands of Muslims on both sides, destruction. Then Khomeini said, okay, a peace deal, which was a surrender. He understood that. He said, for me to accept this peace is like taking poison. Then he left this world after fighting against Islam and Muslims throughout his life. His books became a lot more available after the revolution. The Iranian Shia, when I say Iranian, I'm just talking about the Shia. The Sunnis there were oppressed tremendously, still are. So I'm not talking about them, period. May Allah help them. May Allah help the commoner Shia too, because they suffered for 5 decades. And then before that, for decades and decades under the Shah. Then the Mullahs came, it's the same. Anyway, so the Iranians in America, when I was here, they were distributing the books by Khomeini in Arabic and in English, such as Al-Hukuma Al-Islamiyya, the Islamic government. I found in it exactly what the Shia religion has been promoting for centuries. Nothing changed. In it, this man wrote that the Imams, the 12 Imams, the descendants of the 11 Imams who are the descendants of Ali ibn Abi Talib, the cousin of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that the Imams control every atom in the world. And just like the Christians, they are waiting for the coming of the Messiah. Their Messiah is called Al-Mahdi, the Shia. He's hiding in a cave, some of them say, in Iraq, whatever. Nothing changed. He did not compromise. Who compromised? The Sunnis. Emotions. Those Arabs, they're not doing anything. These people are saying, death to Israel, death to Israel, death to Israel. Iraq. And then Saddam thanked Kuwait and Saudi for their support during the war by invading Kuwait. And then the history, I hope it's known to, the first Gulf War, second Gulf War, and whatever, and the invasion of Iraq. The invasion of Afghanistan death to America from the Shia, you would think they don't like the Americans to occupy Afghanistan. But they did nothing because the Sunnis are being occupied by the Americans. Let them. They didn't help. Period. Nothing. Zero. They didn't help against the communists. And then Iraq was occupied, and the Shia thought that this is it. They went into Iraq, and Iraq is under their control today. And they did to Iraq what they did to Iran. The Mullahs stole the money. The economy, dead. Dead. The people are as poor as ever. They're spreading their religion, and it is a massive, massive tyranny under the mullahs. Wherever they go, the economy dies. And religious freedom for the Sunnis dies with it. Death and destruction. So many Muslims were killed in Iraq, in the hundreds of thousands. The Shia were the culprits behind that. They didn't do anything when the Americans were there, except for some Arab mullah rebels. They were attacking the Americans, and then the Americans in the end said, oh, you can have a part in the government of Iraq. And they did. So, where is death to America so far? Can't see it. Then, later on, years after, Yemen has, I think, a majority of Sunni and also Shia, but not the kind of Shia that rule Iran and Iraq today. The Ja'faris, the most dominant throughout history, still are. They are called the Zaydis. Before, the Zaydis were better than today. However, they were not Ja'faris. They are not Ja'faris. The Houthis became Ja'fari. There were conflicts between the Sunnis and Shia there. Both sides are communists in the religion, to say the least. So we're not talking here about religious people who understand the religion, whatever. No. And the Houthis now control north of Yemen. Ja'faris. Theft, death, destruction. Death to America, death to Israel, death to America. Didn't happen. And Khamenei, who became the Grand Mullah after Khomeini died, and he died just a few weeks ago, so for tens of years, he was really, really organized in spreading tyranny, death and destruction among Muslims, theft. Khamenei organized the Shia empire in Iran and Iraq like never before, really. Death, destruction, theft, and concentrating the economy not for the people. No, the people are as oppressed today as they ever have been under the Shah, then Khomeini and Khamenei. No change. And they were given the Shia slogans, Shia religion inside there. They don't hide any of their religion. They didn't change, you know. They just say slogans and let those naive Arabs get excited. So Khomeini was literally a tyrant. Khamenei, a bigger tyrant. and he was killed a few weeks ago. And they say his son, um, nobody saw his son after. Whatever. Khamenei went into Syria after Hezbollah was established in the early 80s uh, with support from Khomeini in Lebanon. And they kept growing, growing. Now, uh, Lebanon is under the tyranny of Hezbollah, the Shia, Ja'faris. You see? Death to America, it didn't happen in Lebanon either. They went into Syria, Khamenei, and they did there what the Jews did to us in Palestine. Expulsion, theft of homes and farms, death to men, women, and children in the hundreds of thousands. Hundreds of thousands of Muslims were killed in Syria by the Shia regime there, Al-Assad. They are a type of Shia that even the Ja'faris call them disbelievers. But they came to support Al-Assad because it was against Sunnis, Muslims. They killed hundreds of thousands, close to 500,000. The numbers are not really clear. 10 million Syrians, mostly Sunni Muslims, had to leave the country. Until last year or year before, forgot, Alhamdulillah, I think it was last year, the Muslims took back Syria from Khamenei. And Khamenei thought, I have Iran, I have Iraq, I have Lebanon, Syria. So from Afghanistan to the Mediterranean, here comes Kisra, wearing a turban, and he's a mullah. He thought the Kisra Empire, Persian Empire, is back. You need to hear this. At the expense of hundreds of thousands of Muslims killed in Lebanon, Syria. And Hezbollah, while saying death to America, death to Israel, sent 30,000 fighters into North Israel to support Gaza, into Syria. And they killed men, women, and children. And they discovered mass graves for women and children by Hezbollah. Hezbollah, Hezb al-Shaytan, the Hezb of the devil. So, you have Lebanon, Syria. They thought they can expel the Muslims and build an empire for the Mahdi and wait for the Mahdi to escape from his cave in Iraq. Some Shia said, no, he's not there, whatever. And they say that the Imam, now the last one, the Mahdi, according to them, he's alive. According to them, he is alive. So according to Khomeini in his books, and we read his books, as I said, he emphasized the Shia religion in every respect. Nothing changed. They didn't give up anything, period. And they were giving his books for free to those naive Arabs who don't seem to understand the speech. They start with death to America, death to Israel, death to Islam and Muslims, death to America, death to Israel. Yeah, we support you. See, Khomeini and his religion. So those naive Muslims, they would listen to the slogans and stick to them. Now you have the mullah sitting in Tehran from the borders of Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Yemen. So the plot is working very hard, very quickly. And they do nothing about death to Israel. The Hezbollah didn't go to Palestine. Iran didn't fight Israel, period. None, zero, until today. They are being hit by the Jews. That's different. But they try to just make this the Mahdi empire, the Kisra Mahdi. According to their books, when the Mahdi comes back, he will be naked. One of our books, we wrote about this. You find it on islamlife.com. Naked, carrying the flag of David. We don't know if Prophet Dawood, David, we believe in him. He wasn't a Jew. If his flag was the Star of David. But anyway, the Mahdi will speak Hebrew, will be naked, the flag of David, and Al-Aqsa will collapse, and the Haykal, the temple of the Jews, will rise. That's in their books. Death to Israel, death to Israel. So, now, Hezbollah did not help after 7 October, period. Iran didn't help. They're the ones behind the leadership of Hamas doing what they did. They brought this disaster to the people of Gaza and to the West Bank. My own family, we lost dozens who were killed by the Jews, including children. Dozens. But Iran, death to Israel, nothing happened for 5 decades almost. Lebanon, Hezbollah, walked that way. No, they walked that way. Killed the Muslims in Syria. What about the Jews? You're the ones who started the slogan, death to America, death to the Jews, to Israel. You started it. You were denouncing the Arabs for not doing anything about Israel. And you wanted revolutions in the Sunni areas because death to America, death to Israel. This is 50% of the slogan is death to America. Nothing happened. It's just Americans keep hitting them. Nothing happened to America, death to America. They're hitting Iran by the tens of thousands of infrastructure that belongs to the Muslims of Iran, not to the mullahs. Death to Israel? They never attacked Israel, period. None. And the Arabs said, look at the missiles, this missile and that missile. Really? Really? You're happy, huh? What happened October 7 when Hamas leadership, I'm talking about the leadership, started what they started, but you never attacked Israel to relieve the pressure on the Muslims of Gaza, mostly Sunnis, all of them except for a few are Sunnis. You didn't do anything. So all these missiles that now they are shooting at the American areas, bases, and at Israel, how come they didn't come when the Muslims in Gaza were being slaughtered by the Jews? 100,000. Those Jews didn't have a religion. Their book says, go to this town, kill every man, woman, child, suckling infant, ox, sheep, camel, and donkey. So they have no religion. So how come you didn't relieve the people of Gaza? The missiles that are impressing the naive, emotional Arabs today. Look, they're hitting Israel. How come they didn't hit Israel when Gaza started? It would have been a great relief. Let me tell you something, and I'll give you my name again. Jalal Abualrub, Jalal Abualrub. Islamlife.com. You'll find many of our books and this very important book, the third edition of Holy Wars, Crusades, Jihad. Comparison, 400 pages of knowledge. A comparison between the rulings of warfare found in the Old Testament, the New Testament, the Quran, and Sunnah. You'll find this book there on our website, islamlife.com. I have been saying for decades that since I was young, I came to the conclusion that the Arabs don't want to fight Israel. So, it's not that I'm saying the Arabs are, no, they're not. But they haven't been saying the slogan that the Iranian Shia, Ja'faris, started with. Still saying, death to America, never came. Death to Israel, never came. Israel has been hitting them. They retaliate. How come you didn't shoot all these missiles when Hamas was flying, what they call this thing that they forgot the name in English, over the fence into our land, Palestine? They call it Israel. How come you didn't start all these missiles, thousands of missiles, and we have missiles that are hitting in the middle of the earth, and why? Really? You didn't help your loyalists among the leadership of Hamas. The general public in Gaza, they're not Shia. They don't like the Shia. They never were for the Shia. And they had no option or opinion with regards to what happened October 7. And it is the Iranians, Shia in Iran, Shia in Iraq, Hezbollah, and the caught chewing Houthis in Yemen. Death to America, death to Israel. Except that death did not come to America or to Israel. The Houthis destroyed Islam in the area they control in Yemen, stole all the money and the food, killed so many people. Is this what you're looking for? Now, death to America didn't happen. Did not happen. Did not happen. Death to Israel, well, because of this, they kept talking about their armed forces and the revolutionary guards, and we have this and that, and we built this and that. Israel inflicted unimaginable destruction on Iran. And Israel took the chance by hitting whatever that they think should be hit, which belongs to the Iranian people, civilians, schools, whatever. And they killed the mullah, maybe his son, and they killed the leadership. So they took the chance. But who's been saying death to America, death to Israel? Is it them? What I'm saying is death to Iran. Yeah, of course, they're shooting missiles. Because the Jews are Jews. And if the Jews are Jews, they will behave like Jews. You think you're going to go hit that huge land, Iran, and they're not going to retaliate? They're going to retaliate. But the retaliation is 47 years late. Never starting from them against Israel. Never. Now the United States and Israel are attacking Iran. From before, they would shoot missiles at the Gulf country areas. That's not Israel. It's not America either. The Gulf countries said to the United States, you can't use your bases on our land. They want to drag them in to the war. Hey, we're hiding anyway. You're killing all this, destroying all this stuff. It's not ours anyway. We can steal more from the people and build more things. We have the missiles hidden in the middle of the earth. Well, the slogan was "Death to America." You could say, well, they're hitting the bases in the Gulf area. Death to Israel. But you never initiated. It's always from that direction towards Iran. And today, you hear that the Iranians are attacking Kuwait. Why? Iran has no conflict with Kuwait except that Kuwait is mostly Sunni. With Jordan, I've seen it. I've seen all these buses of Shia coming to some grave in Jordan to worship the dead people who are dead. If they could help anyone, they could have helped themselves and stayed alive. Why attack Jordan? Qatar promoted the Iranian revolution and spent billions of dollars causing trouble for the Sunnis, literally on behalf of the Shia. And this is how they tell you, thank you, Qatar, very much. Some missiles here and there. We're destroying the essence of your economy, based on which you get all these billions of dollars that you are using to cause trouble in many areas. So, Kuwait, they didn't do anything against Iran. And, Saddam, whom the Shia hated very much, is the one who caused Kuwait to have those bases, American bases, because they're thinking that anytime somebody is in Baghdad, yeah, Kuwait is ours, let's walk in. Jordan had no share in the wars against Iran except the second Gulf War. They allowed the Americans to use their bases there. Qatar, Azerbaijan, they're Shia. They're Shia. Turkey, it's stronger than Israel, even though the Jews think otherwise. Why attack Turkey? Azerbaijan? Unbelievable. Now they are attacking the Emirates and Saudi. Understandable. Oman were acting like we're neutral. We have nothing to do with nothing, whatever, with anything. We have nothing to do with anything. They're attacking Oman and they're threatening everybody else. Why? Is it within Death to America? Somebody says, well, they have bases there, but they haven't used the bases this time against Iran, against Israel. All these weapons you had, how come you did not shoot them to relieve the Muslims of Gaza, whom you lured their leadership to attack Israel? And here we are. What's the future of Gaza? Allah knows. The West Bank is being lost. Today, the Jews are still killing people in Gaza and the West Bank and stealing land today. But the news is all about the missiles they shot at the Jews, and the Jews come and destroy the infrastructure of the Muslim land, anything and everything. Because whatever we destroy now, it's going to take them time to rebuild, if they rebuild. So, I wanted to say this. Okay, it's a little long, but it's important. Oh Allah, unite the Muslims on the Quran and the Sunnah established around Tawheed. لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله.